Okay, so here we have agricultural researching wanted to know whether the mean number of plants for each plot type differed. He collected data on the number of corn plants and randomly sampled rows for the various plot types. Here it happens to be sludge plot, spring disc, and no-till. If you're as confused as I am, because I have no farming experience, I totally understand. But the point is that you've got three different kinds of, places to plant corn. You want to see which one does better, right? And so we're just counting the mean number of corn plants in each different type. We know that they've done an analyzation of variance test on the means, and they rejected the null hypothesis, which was that the means were all the same. Okay, so at this point, the researcher does a Tukey test to try to see. We know the means aren't the same, right? We want to know which ones differ. Which one's higher, which one's different. Okay, so after he does, we don't actually have to do the Tukey test ourselves, but they give us a table of the results. Okay, and the Tukey test has confidence intervals, right, for each of the means done pairwise. So this first one here, oh my gosh, the ice cream truck's coming by. The sludge plot is being subtracted. The mean from the sludge plot is being having the spring disc subtracted from it. Okay, and you see that when we do that, the mean center is like 4.5, and its lower is 0.92. Its upper is 8.2 plants. So that definitely means that the sludge plot is getting more plants than the spring disc, right? What we would be unsure about is if the center, if the lower and the upper contain both positive numbers, right? Because that means the confidence interval includes 0, which means there really might not be a difference in the means, right? Remember, this is the means being subtracted from each other. So this line right here, the no-till line, says no-till minus spring disc. The mean could be anywhere from negative 3.4 up to 3.8, which means that it could pass through 0. It's really hard to tell which one has more plants in it, unlike the sludge plot, right? The sludge plot doesn't have 0 in it, so for a confidence level of 97.7%, it's not containing that 0 or where the means are equal to each other. Also, if you look, the sludge plot subtracted from no-till, right, creates a completely negative confidence interval from the lower to the upper. That means that if you think sludge pot is being subtracted from no-till, that means the sludge pot is bigger, right? It's having bigger values. That's why the result is going negative. So no-till minus sludge pot is giving you all negative numbers, for a 97. These are 95%, for a 95% confidence interval. So that definitely means that sludge pot is the one that's different, right? It's different from both spring disc and no-till. So for part A here, which pairwise means differ? Okay, so definitely the mean of corn plants for sludge plot is different from the mean number of corn plants from either spring disc or no-till plot. Okay, so we check that. That's good. And then they say, well, okay, sludge plot is definitely different. Is it different lower or different higher? And as I was discussing earlier, when we subtract spring disc from sludge plot, everything's positive. That means sludge plot's bigger. And when I subtract sludge plot from no-till, everything's negative. That means sludge plot is bigger. So we definitely would want sludge plot. Such funny names. I don't even know what that means. We would definitely say sludge plot would result in more plants on average, right? The mean is higher than any of the other two type of plots. So I hope that helps a little bit.